laboratory, and we are pleased to have you here as our 100 level students. The laboratory is one of the most important parts of your training here on campus, as long as you are a science student in University of Unilorin. Now, your Physics 107 is the practical that you are going to be doing in your first semester, while the Physics 108 is the practical you'll be doing for your second semester. In the previous video we did on introduction of physics, we were able to explain to you about the laboratory ethics, that what we expect from you as a science student before, during, and after your physics practical. Now, before you can come into the practical class for your experiment, that's for your Physics 107 or Physics 108 practical experiment, it is expected that you are supposed to be a registered student, one of the University of Unilorin. You have already gained an admission, you're a science student, and you are supposed to do the Physics 107 or Physics 108 practical. Now, it is expected that you have to have your practical manual and your practical file. This is going to be given to you in the physics laboratory. Now, the practical manual consists of 3 items. The first one is your practical file. And the practical files are of 2 colors, depending on the group that you fall onto. And the group that you fall to is going to be determined by the timetable you are given. That's from the university authority, to know if you belong to group B and D or you belong to group A, C, and E. So those are the 2 groups that we have. And these practical files, they come in 2 different colors. Your A, C, and E will have a separate color, and your group B and D is going to have a separate color. But on that physics practical file, you have your group number. Every student has a unique group number and serial number. There is no way 2 students can have the same group number or the same serial number. So, and the grouping is done in accordance with the group that you fall onto, just as I was explained. And we have what? We have group 1.1, we have group 1.2, we have group 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, and 1.9. Then we also have 2.1, 2.2, up to 2.9. We have 3.1 to 3.9. So, and for those that are in group 1.1, we are supposed to have 35 students in that group. Which means if you are in group 1.1, you have your serial number either as serial number 1, serial number 2, serial number 3, or down to serial number 35. Which means we have 35 students in a group. So if we have another 1.1 serial number 1, it is either the person is in group B and D or the person is in group A, C, and E. We cannot have 2 group 1. We cannot have 2 persons belonging to a group that is 1.1 and serial number 1. If you have anything like that, you must report to the laboratory so that we can make any correction. But there is likelihood that such cannot happen. So you are supposed to have, when you get your file, you will know the group that you belong to. It is written on the file. So among the 3 items that we said comprises of our practical file, apart from the practical group number, you now have your practical manual. So your practical manual can be something like this, or it can be something different from this, but you're supposed to have the practical manual inside your file. And on the practical manual, we have some instructions that are on those practical manuals. On the practical manual, if you look at the back, you see the instruction, you read it properly. At the back page also, you see instructions that you're supposed to know. It's also here. You don't get your practical file and just keep it at home. You are supposed to read those instructions so that it will guide you, for you to know the practical you are expected to read for your Physics 107, the practical you are expected to read also for your Physics 108. So that is that about the manual. We now also have your graph sheets, which is also part of your practical manual that you have. That's the 3rd one. So you have your graph sheets, and that graph sheet is what you are going to be reporting all the practicals that you'll be carrying out in the lab. After you have done that, when you read the instruction that you have at the back of your manual, you see that there's a link where you're supposed to register. We'll be coming down to that point. Now, it is expected that as a student who is going to be offering Physics 107 and Physics 108, you're expected to have your lab coat. You have to come in with your lab coat and your covered shoe in order for us to avoid hazard. The laboratory is not just a classroom, it is a controlled and professional environment. You are expected to be orderly, disciplined, and attentive at all times when you are in the laboratory. When entering in the lab, you are supposed to walk calmly. You don't run in the lab. And the pathway of the laboratory is expected to be kept what? Free. You don't cluster the place. In the case of any emergency or anything, the pathway has to be free for easy movement of maybe a victim or anything out of the laboratory. But God forbid, we don't want to see that. Now, your dress code. The University of Unilorin has a dress code, and we follow suit with that. Your dressing into the laboratory, whether you are putting on a lab coat or not, must conform with what? The dress code of the University of Unilorin. So you must ensure that you avoid wearing loose clothes, dragging jewelries or slippers. You dress smartly and appropriately. And also we also look at your orderliness and cleanliness. Whichever area you are going to be carrying out your experiment, that place has to be kept clean. It has to be kept what? Clean. And also you ensure that you are checking notice and announcements. You check for notice. At the back entrance of our 100 level lab, there is a notice board that is there. And on that notice board, that is where we put all information that has to do with Physics 107 and Physics 108. Also at the back entrance of our 200 level lab, we also have a notice board there. And also on the corridor of the department, you have your notice board there. Also for you to check information in order for you to know what is going on, what you are expected to do. Now, we look at our registration. After you have gotten your practical file, there are 3 registrations that you need to do. Number 1, we know the normal registration you do in the school where you do on your portal in order for you to have your course form. That. The second registration you do for Physics 107, Physics 108 is for you to fill an online form. And the link is at the back of your manual. Now, before you can fill that form, you must ensure that you have collected your practical file. You don't use another person's practical file to fill your own information online, because you are expected to have your own unique group number and serial number which you are going to be asked to fill. So you are expected to do what? Fill the correct information by first ensuring that you already have your practical file. Write out the link onto your Google search and you fill the form. And before you submit, please ensure you double check. When you are filling out your name, make sure that you arrange your name the way your name is on the University of Unilorin portal. It is very, very important. You write your name, check your JAM registration number, also ensure that you put the correct thing. Now, during the Physics 107 practical, most times your matric number may not be out. So that's why we expect that you put the correct JAM registration number. But the moment you have been given your matric number, you come back to the lab to come and fill in your matric number. It is very, very important, so that you don't have issues of missing results. I didn't see my results, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. If you follow instruction, you will not have problem. Now, the third registration is the registration that you do manually. In that registration, you come to the laboratory and we give you a spreadsheet like this. You have something like this, depending on the group that you fall under. If you are in B and D, you may be given a color like this. If you are in A, C, and E, this may be your color. You understand? So now when you come in, you have to come with a photocopy of any of your documents that bears your name correctly, your JAM, and also your JAM registration number. It can either be your admission letter, your acceptance letter, or your course form, a photocopy. We don't need the original, just a photocopy. Just for us to also double check to be sure that you have written the correct thing. So you fill in, when you come in, you check the serial number on your practical file. If the serial number on your practical file is serial number 2, that means you are going to be writing your name on number 2. It doesn't matter whether you are the first person or the last person. You don't say, oh, because I'm the first person to write my name, you just come and write your name on number 1. No. That's why your practical file has to be with you when you are coming into the laboratory for your manual registration. So you come in, if your serial number is serial number 20, you write your name here, serial number 20. And on this other column, ensure that your name is written in capital letters and on the other column you have your JAM registration number. So for your JAM registration number, you write it there. Then if it happens that you have a matric number, probably you have done a first degree, you are coming to do your second degree, you already have a matric number, then you put your matric number there. Or if it's a carryover course, you put your matric number there. So your matric number will be on this column, your department, your phone number, you sign, and that's it. You leave this other column. So once you have done that, you have completed your registration. Now this registration is very, very important. The reason is that it is from the registration that you do online that we are going to use to generate an attendance for you when you come for your practicals. And when you have your attendance, this is how your attendance sheet is going to look like. But because you have registered, your name will now be appearing on the attendance that we are going to give you because you register. But if you do not register and you already have your file and you have a group number, if you have your serial number is serial number 3, for example, serial number 3 is going to be blank because you did not register. So if you read the top of the attendance you'll be given, there's an instruction that says double check and correct your details before signing, because we understand that there are some people that may still make mistakes. Some people may not, they may not recheck what they are filling before they just click the submit button and submit. So that's why we say double check again and see. Have you made a mistake somewhere? If you have made a mistake, inform the technologists in the lab and they will help to correct the details. And you write your registration number is also going to be on the attendance sheet, and the only thing you have to do when you are sure that the details are correct, all you need to do is just what? To sign. Now this attendance is also very important because this is the only thing that indicates that you came for your practical. If you come for practical and you do not sign on the attendance sheet, you do not have a score for your CA. There is no score for your CA. So when you come for practicals, ensure that you sign on the attendance sheet. You don't sign for anybody. You sign against your name. If you mistakenly sign on another person's name, please inform us. Inform the technologists in the lab so that we can erase it and you can sign on the correct thing. Because if you leave it like that and the person that is supposed to sign there comes and the person shows his or her group number and his or her file which shows the correct group number and serial number, we will erase your name from that space and that person will sign on it. And by the time you say you came for practical, it will indicate that you did not come for practical. So it is important that you follow instructions in the lab so that you have a beautiful and a wonderful Physics 107 during the class, after the class as well. And also, when you have done your registration, just as said, the university will give us a timetable for you to know when you'll be coming. We have some students that come on Fridays and we have some that comes on Mondays. Now this is an example of the way that your practical schedule is going to look like. It's going to be pasted at the back entrance of the 100 level, at the back entrance of the 200 level. And if you look at this one, it says group B and D. While this one here says group A, C, and E, it indicates the time. This may not be the exact time you'll be doing your practical. This is just an example of how it's going to look like. And you have the date is going to be written on it. The venue is telling us that for those that belongs to the groups that are here, will be carrying out their experiments in 100 level laboratory. And those that are in this group that falls here will be carrying out their experiment in 200 level lab. So you may likely have something like this. Maybe this should be 1.1. We have 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. So these are the first sets of people that will come for their practical. The same thing, you have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, and 1.9. So this is for group B and D, while this is for group A, C, and E. Now in this other column, it shows the table, because we have a lot of tables in the laboratory. And in this column, you have either table 1, table 3, table 5, table 7, table 8, indicating the table you are going to be doing your experiment. Now, the way we count our table in the lab, we count from the top bench. That's the table immediately after the demonstration table. That's how we can. That's your table 1. So if they tell you that you are doing your, if you fall under group 1.1, for example, and they say table 1, it means as you are walking into the lab, you are walking straight towards to table 1. And the other column here will tell you the experiment that you are going to be doing. Let's say you are doing experiment 2. Experiment 2 will be here. So you know that for this table, I'm in group 1.1. The table I'm doing my experiment is table 1. And the experiment I'm doing is what? Experiment 2. And also I already know that where I'm going to carry out my experiment is what? The 100 level lab. So it makes it easier for us and also easier for you to carry out the experiment. When you enter into the laboratory, you will have setups on your table, but not all the apparatus will be on the table. So you have some apparatus that you need to sign for. There will be a staff at the back of the laboratory. That's the last table in the laboratory, in both labs, depending on the lab that you are going to be doing your experiment. He will be there or she will be there, and you go there, you request for the apparatus that you want to collect, you give your details, you sign, you collect it, and immediately after the experiment, you have gotten your readings, you return it back. Now, in the case that anything happens to it, it is not the person that collected it from the group that will pay for it. It's going to be the responsibility of everybody in that group. So it is expected that you all guide our apparatus jealously and handle it with care. Now, we have a communication platform where we communicate with students. It's a Telegram group. By the time you come in, you have the link. You have to join the group where we are going to be passing official information to you. Updates and laboratory schedules will be posted there. Make sure you join and stay active so you don't miss any announcements. Final note. In summary, we expect maturity, discipline, and respect for the laboratory environment. Always follow instructions, handle all equipment with care, and ask questions when in doubt. Remember, the way you behave in the lab reflects your professionalism as future scientists. Once again, welcome to the physics laboratory. We look forward to working with you and seeing you grow through the course of this semester. Thank you very much.